Benyamin Faraji. October 13th, 2025, Asian Teen Championships, quarterfinal, India. The arena was exploding with noise. Then Faraji walked into the calm, locked in, that giant slayer stare. Rank 140, the man you watched crush the world #1 last year. But now, across the table, Lin Shidong, sharp, ruthless, world #2. And suddenly, boom. Faraji ripped the second set from him. The crowd froze. You felt it instantly. Was the upset about to happen again? Set 1, calm before the storm. Lin Shidong came in like a hurricane, sharp, ruthless, unstoppable. Every strike cracked like lightning. Faraji's eyes never wavered, and the crowd's collective gasp shook the arena. But wait, you'd think Lin Shidong would sweep 3-0? Not even close. Momentum shifted. Lin Shidong came at him with lightning speed, but Faraji struck back. Rallies twisted, and the giant suddenly fell at this set. Then, Lin Shidong, usually untouchable, started to hesitate under Faraji's relentless attack. One forced error, then another. The unthinkable was unfolding as the underdog pressed on. But hold on, did Faraji just cruise to a 3-1 victory? Not a chance. Lin Shidong threw everything at him: power, precision, pride. Faraji stood unshaken, ice cold, refusing to crack under the storm. And in the decisive moment, with the stadium holding its breath, it wasn't the superstar who rose. It was the underdog, Faraji, claiming his place in history. A giant slay, again. But wait, if Faraji versus Lin Shidong was legendary, are you ready for Anders Lin's explosive clash? If these legendary underdogs fired you up, hit like and subscribe. The next stories get even crazier. Anders Lin. September 13th, 2025, WTT Champions, quarterfinal, Macau. The arena was buzzing, loud, tense, every eye locked in. Then he stepped out. Anders Lin, calm, cold, unshakable. He's the man you saw shock the world #1 last year. Across the table, Lin Shidong, fast, fierce, a rising storm. Then Lin fired back, a perfect counterattack to steal the second set. You felt the momentum shift. Was the underdog about to rewrite the script again? Set 1, Lin Shidong sets the tone. From the first serve, Lin Shidong was a storm, lightning fast, ruthless on the backhand. Lin controlled every rally, pushing Lin to the edge, holding off the late surge. But wait, you'd think Lin Shidong would sweep 4-0? Not even close. Momentum shifted. Lin hit his stride, soft blocks, sudden counters, relentless pace. Lin was on the back foot, chasing shadows, forced to react. Then, Lin Shidong strikes back. Lin Shidong hit with precision, every angle sharp, every receive tight. Lin had no room to breathe as the giant tightened his grip. You might have thought Lin Shidong was unstoppable. Absolutely not. A deuce game loomed. Suddenly, an absolute war, rallies stretched, tension crackling in the air. Lin saved a set point as Lin Shidong pressed hard, then snatched it with a fearless flick. Then, deja vu drama. Same tension, same fire, another razor-tight set. Lin Shidong pressed hard, but Lin held firm and struck back. You thought it would stay close? Nope. The next set was a massacre. Momentum shifted. A reset. A roar. Lin Shidong stormed through the sixth, power and precision everywhere. Lin was left reeling. Set 7, the decisive moment. Final set turned savage. Lin absorbed Lin Shidong's biggest shots, refused to bend. Then ripped backhands down the line to seize the match. But hold on, if you think Anders Lin brought chaos, are you ready for what Troels Morgaard unleashes next? Troels Morgaard, July 31st, 2024, Paris Olympics, men's singles round of 32. The crowd roared, every fan leaned forward at once. Then he walked in, Troels Morgaard, wild, fearless, pure chaos. Across the table, Wang Chuqin, world #1, the unbreakable wall. A quiet undercurrent lingered. Wang Chuqin's paddle had been replaced overnight after that freak accident. But the champion still stood tall, unshaken. But Troels struck first, explosive, emotional, no hesitation. You felt the shock. Was the wild underdog really about to push the king to the edge? Set 1, Troels lights the fire. Troels exploded out, fast hands, sharp angles, fearless counters. Wang Chuqin looked unsettled, struggling to anchor himself. But wait, you thought the world #1 would stabilize fast. Not even close. And the wave doesn't stop, Troels keeps rising. Troels blended touch and chaos, soft blocks, sudden accelerations. Wang Chuqin was reacting, scrambling, losing his calm edge. But all in a sudden, the giant strikes back. Wang Chuqin locked in, crisp control, heavy spin, ruthless precision. For a moment, Troels was drowning in pace. Instead of turning, momentum intensifies. Troels saves a set point with pure nerve. But Wang Chuqin answers instantly and steals this set. You expected Wang Chuqin to continue to win, right? Absolutely not. Deja vu, razor blade pressure again. Another knife-edge set. Wang Chuqin pressed like a machine. Troels held like a fighter refusing reality itself. You expect a champion's response here, yeah? Nope. Troll shuts that door instantly. Set 6, the decisive moment. The final set goes brutal. Troll stands unshaken under Wang Chuqin's fire. One last rip, and the world number 1 falls. But wait, if Trolls unleashed this much chaos, are you ready for the next rivalry waiting to erupt? If these legendary underdogs fired you up, hit like and subscribe. The next stories get even crazier. Hugo Calderano, 2025 World Cup, April 19th, China men's singles semifinal. The arena was roaring, every fan glued to the table. Hugo Calderano stepped in focused, fearless. Across the table waited Wang Chuqin, world number 1, the immovable wall. The first rallies hit like explosions, and you instantly felt the danger. Was the king actually in trouble? Set 1, calm before the storm. Hugo opened with calm precision, every shot controlled and fearless. But the moment Wang Chuqin tightened his focus, you felt the match start to burn. But wait, you'd think Hugo would sweep Wang Chuqin 4-0? Not even close. Then the switch flipped. Wang Chuqin unleashed strikes that were razor clean and unforgiving. Each ball hammered the table like a message. The king was taking back everything. Logic says Hugo should fight back and grab the next set and close this out 4-1. Reality had other plans. Pressure piled up as Hugo's rhythm began to slip, and Wang Chuqin pushed harder. Each rally hit faster, fiercer, the whole match tightening by the second. Wang Chuqin seized control with deadly precision, while Hugo tried to fight back with fierce determination, but it did not work out. The arena trembled. It seems like Wang Chuqin can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But hold on, expecting Wang Chuqin to cruise to a 4-1 win? That couldn't be further from the truth. Momentum flipped. Hugo blasted back with raw power, forcing Wang Chuqin onto the defensive. Every forehand ignited the crowd, the arena shaking with each thunderous reply. The rallies grew savage as Hugo and Wang Chuqin collided in pure grit and unbroken resolve. Each point lingered in the tense air, the crowd frozen in stunned anticipation. Set 7, the decisive moment. Everything hung on that deuce rally. Hugo and Wang Chuqin locked in a tense, final showdown. The crowd roared around them as every point teetered on the edge of victory. But think about it. Hugo left the crowd on edge. So is Duda ready to ignite the next showdown? Benedict Duda versus Lin Shidong. 2025 Bundesliga, August 31st, Germany. Men's singles showdown. The stadium is alive, every eye locked on the table. Duda steps in with calm, focused, fearless. And then, you can feel it, the unthinkable. Lin Shidong trailing, the crowd stunned. Every point now a heartbeat. Can Duda hold? Or will everything change? Set 1, Duda strikes first. Duda stepped in like a storm, fearless, precise, relentless from the very first ball. Every shot kept Lin Shidong off balance, and in the clutch, you could feel the whole arena tighten. Did Duda's hot start make you wonder if a 3-0 over Lin Shidong was coming? Then, Lin Shidong strikes back. Duda held his ground, but Lin Shidong broke through with speed and precision. The Olympic champ took charge and left Duda scrambling. You figured Lin Shidong's champion composure would bring a 3-1 turnaround? Momentum shifted. Germany rises with Duda. Duda fed off that energy, ripping through fans' defenses with sharp, fearless pressure. On home soil, every rally made the German crowd roar louder. Then came the unthinkable. Lin Shidong faltered, just for a second, and the arena let out. The sound fans make when they know the giant is in real trouble. Because in that moment, it became clear. Duda was taking this match, his once-in-a-lifetime victory over the world's most feared player recently. But what if Lin Shidong's collapse was only the setup, and Miwa Haramoto's rise was the real shock waiting for you next? If these legendary underdogs fired you up, hit like and subscribe. The next stories get even crazier. Miwa Haramoto, 2025 Asian Cup quarterfinal, February 22nd. The arena was roaring, every fan glued to the table as Miwa stepped up. Miwa Haramoto versus Sun Yingxia, the giant everyone expected to cruise. Then it happened. The scoreboard froze the entire stadium. Shock. Whispers. Was the unstoppable world number 1 really crumbling because of a 16-year-old prodigy? Because just minutes earlier, Sun Yingxia controlled with icy precision. Smooth. Calm. Dominant. You'd imagine that after snatching the first set, Sun Yingxia would storm straight through the second, but nope, all of a sudden, everything collapsed. Miwa Haramoto erupted with fearless aggression. Her shots were explosive, her pace ruthless, her energy electrifying. The scoreboard lit up, a shockwave, a nightmare unfolding in real time. The arena was roaring, every fan glued to the table. Can you imagine something like that happening to Sun Yingxia, the world number 1? The iron wall of women's table tennis. Yet here she was, stunned, shaken, cracked open. What a nightmare for Sun Yingxia. But even at such a huge score gap, Yingxia didn't fold. She didn't flinch. She fought for every ball, point by point, breath by breath, refusing to let the set break her. Sun Yingxia tried to fight back a few desperate points. Confidence? Rattled. Momentum? Gone. Miwa? Unstoppable. But the damage was done. Sharp, sudden, irreversible. Miwa had punched the hole straight through the champion's armor. But hold on, if you thought Miwa's explosion meant a 4-1 runaway victory, that dream ended fast. All of a sudden, the heart-stopping escape, under suffocating pressure, Ingsha gathered every ounce of composure. She turned panic into precision, doubt into determination. She played safer, then sharper. Short touches. Sudden accelerations. A champion's survival instinct firing at max voltage. A razor-thin survival. You could feel the arena exhale, a long, trembling breath. You'd expect that third set escape to launch Ingsha into the 4th, but the momentum didn't follow. All of a sudden, the relentless pushback. Miwa was fearless, twisting spins, landing impossible shots. 16, unstoppable, rewriting the game. Sun Ingsha, still in the fight, eyes sharp, feet moving, refusing to break. Level again. A teenager shaking the sport's foundations, then, a sudden shift, a spark, a surge. The fierce breakaway, now it was Ingsha's turn to ignite. Her footwork became blistering, her counters heavier, her confidence roaring back. She pounced on weak returns, ripped winners down the line, and forced Miwa into deeper corners. Sun Ingsha pushed ahead, but the pressure kept rising. Every mistake stung, every shot echoed, every rally tightened the tension. Set 6, the decisive moment. Every rally felt like a war, the pace faster, the tension sharp enough to cut. Miwa Haramoto fought with fearless heart, chasing every ball like nothing else existed. But Sun Ingsha stood unshaken, calm, precise, the champion refusing to break. This wasn't just a set, it was a clash of belief versus legacy, and when the final ball landed, it didn't feel like a point. It felt like a thunderclap declaring exactly why Sun Ingsha is still the queen. After watching the most legendary table tennis underdog ever, which part surprised you the most? Comment below and share your thoughts with the reason why.